Yo, what's going on, guys? Today, I'm gonna be doing a horror movie review for Evil Dead 2013, the remake. This is gonna be a pretty fun one because this movie, I very well enjoyed it. And, I did my last Evil Dead review, Evil Dead 3 Army of Darkness. And then, now I'm basically at the remake now, 2013 remake, and I pretty much seen all of them, but the new one at this point. Eventually, I plan on seeing that one as well, but I don't know when that'll be. But when it comes to like just all the other movies, I pretty much already seen this franchise, and I love it, man. I really do. These movies are enjoyable. So I'm gonna, just have a fun time doing a review for this as well. So if you guys are new, please like and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it. Um, and yeah, we're just gonna get right into it. So this movie, first of all, I just want to say, like, man, when it comes, I would say this one is like I said, is it's up there when it comes to my rankings. I haven't seen the new one yet, but this one's definitely very close to the original. And it's just there's just so much just fun things about it. The opening scene was just like it was like kind of like crazy off the bat. Like, we end up seeing like um this dad, and he's like, and this daughter, and he's like trying to kill her. And at first when I watched this, I was like, wait, what? Like, what is this um what is this guy doing? Like, he's um he's like trying to kill his own daughter or whatnot. Like, I was just like so confused and whatnot. But yeah, I was just like, he's trying to kill his own daughter. And then she ends up like saying that line, like, "Oh, I'm gonna swallow your soul." And then that's when I knew, like, yeah, she's possessed. Because like that's usually what these Evil Dead demons. That's usually what they say. Like, I'm gonna swallow your soul, and every time they say that, that usually means they're possessed. So yeah, as soon as she said, "I'm gonna swallow your soul," I was like, "Yep, she's possessed." And then he like lit her on fire, and then shot her in the face, and I was just like, yo, like, this is a freaking crazy opening scene. I just did not expect that. Um, so yeah, I really like the opening scene, and then like, cause it sets the already the tone of the film already, and we end up getting introduced to our main characters here. We got Mia, we got David, we got Eric, we got Natalie, Olivia, and these other characters. So we get introduced to their characters, and I really like Mia as a final girl. Like, she's, you know, when I first saw this movie, I was like, man, Mia is a great final girl. I was just so impressed, just with everything about it, like the stuff she was going through, because like, her and her brother David, like, they basically they lost their mom, I guess. Like, they ended up losing their mom, because like they lost their mom because she, like, I guess she like died in some institution that she was locked up in, and she ended up dying. So yeah, we end up finding that out, that they're related. Their brother and sister, Mia and David, are related to each other, and their mom died. And what's it called? Like, basically, then we end up finding out that like Mia is like dealing with these drug addictions and whatnot. So like, I immediately started connecting with Mia. Like, I really liked her character and just everything about her, and her relationship with her brother David, and I really enjoyed just their dynamic and whatnot. And aside from probably Eric, one of the other characters in this film, who I'm about to get into, because he does something like he's basically the cause of why this whole film started in the first place. Like he made like such a big mistake for that he should have. It was easily avoidable, and yeah, but I really like David and Mia's relationship with each other, their brother and sisterhood, and what's it called? Then what's it called? Like Eric, he ends up going because they end up going into like the basement because they like hear something, and they end up going in there. They smell something, but they don't know that there's like the dead bodies are in there of the daughter that end up dying in there. Like they don't know anything about that, and they end up finding a book down there, and Eric ends up taking it for himself, and he's just like opening it, and they had like barbed wire like wrapped around the book. So I don't know why he even thought it was, why he even thought of opening the book in the first place. Like he literally cut himself, then he continued reading it, then he continued just like acting like, oh yeah, like this is just fun. Like he's repeating the words of the book, and like basically um summoning the evil dead spirits, making the dead come back to life. So bro, this movie all happened because of him, bro. Like this is all his fault. This is literally could have been avoidable, and he literally decided to just you know read this book, and he had no business doing it. But at the same time, it led to a fun time with this film. So I can't really, blame him too much. But yeah, so then, the the evil dead spirits, they come back to life, and what's it called? Then there's a scene that like mimics the original film, where like the I forgot, I think it was Ash's girlfriend, I forgot her name, but like in the original Evil Dead, like I think she ends up going to like the woods, and like the trees end up like strangling her, and they're like like attacking her and whatnot. But in this version, it was just like very weird. Like this like little slug demon, I guess, ends up going inside of Mia, and I'm just like, yo, what the heck is this, bro? I was just like so confused, and yeah, it made me feel all like it made me feel weird. So yeah, that was just gross, and like Mia ends up getting possessed because that little slug demon ended up going inside of her, so she ended up being possessed, and she ends up going crazy. And yeah, at this point, it's like if it's I was just like, yo, this is crazy. um and like she ends up like cutting her mouth open with this like piece of glass, and I was just like, yo, this is wild, bro. And like I was just like there was just so much crazy, like so much crazy shit going on, that was just like, bro. This film was just, it took so many crazy turns. And because usually the main character is just like innocent, completely innocent. Now Mia went from innocent to evil to innocent to evil and then innocent. Like bro, I was just like, it was just a wild turn here. And she ends up like trying to attack her, and she ends up trying to attack her friends, and they end up like trapping her. And what's it called, they lock her inside this like the basement, like just like the original Evil Dead, where they had the basement, and the little they like the girl like pops up and she's like talking, and this image is like, I know is like very well known, even I feel like from some fans who may have not, those who, some of those who haven't seen this movie, and like I feel like they would know this image though, right? Because like even I've seen this image around. Like I've seen like some YouTube reactors even have this as their thumbnail. So like this is, I feel like this image right here is very well known. Oh shoot, I don't know what happened. What the heck? My bad, guys. I don't know. Like I think the audio like just went out for a second, but yeah. So then like they end up blocking her inside of here, and she's just like like looking all creepy and whatnot. And there was just so many like brutal moments in this film. Like for example, right here, whenever like Mia ends up shooting like this like nail gun, and she's like shooting like nails inside of Eric's hand. I was just like, like that was just like, it kind of made me flinch for a second. And then like she ends up like hitting his hand with like this crowbar. I was just like, yo, this is crazy. And yeah, there's just like, to be honest, like when it comes to the Evil Dead movies, I feel like I don't know about Evil Dead Rise, but like from these movies here, the first four movies, they're not like they're like obviously this movie's the most brutal, but like in terms of kills, I feel like there's usually not that many kills in these Evil Dead movies, but they're all super efficient and well executed. And in this film, even some of the characters that didn't die, like they just got brutally attacked. Um, and yeah, she ends up just attacking Eric, leaving him all bloody, his hands all messed up. He's like bleeding all over the place. He's injured, and what's it called? Meanwhile, David is like trying to figure out a plan here. He has his chainsaw, trying to go after Mia, his sister. And by the way, I want to ask you guys, who do you guys see as like who? Because I feel like I'm kind of like mixed here, to be honest. Like I don't know who I necessarily see as the Ash of this film. Do you guys see David as the Ash in this film, or do you guys see Mia as the Ash? Because I kind of see both of them as being the Ash character. Like I see David as like the new Ash, but I also see Mia as kind of like Ash as well. Like just a female version, I guess. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Like, do you guys see David as the Ash more, or Mia? Um, and yeah, I really like just David's character and whatnot. And like at some point in the film, though, he ends up like killing his sister Mia, or supposedly killing, and he like buries her in the sand, and then he like takes her out of the sand, and then he like puts these defibrillators on her, and like brings her back to life, and she's like normal again. But what's it called? There was this other part of the film though before that where she like grabs a knife and she like slits her tongue. I was like, it's just things like that in this movie that I was just like, bro, like it was so like disgusting. Um, and then there's another part of the film too where Mia gets like this machete, like slit across her knee, and I was like, bro, that was just like that. Even that made me like, I was just like, ugh, like what the hell, bro. And yeah, like this movie had just so many moments of that, and it was just like disgusting. And what's it called? And like Eric ends up getting killed off here at this scene before David, like, takes the, or we think he does, but like, before David ends up, making Mia not possessed anymore. We think that, the spirit, the evil dead spirit, leaves Mia, but it actually didn't. But before that, she ends up just killing Eric. Um, and Natalie here, she ends up having to chop her arm off because she got infected. And like she ended up doing what Ash did in Evil Dead 2, where he chopped his hand off. Only this was just, it looked way more brutal, but like the way, like it was, like the way it happened was way more brutal. I was just like, yo, what the hell, bro? Like this is just, I was like, bro, ain't no way. So yeah, this was another brutal part of the film, and what's it called? Then at the end of the film, Mia and her brother David, they end up like, yeah, they end up because like Mia, she's good now. She's no longer possessed. So her and David are just talking, and then out of nowhere, what's it called? Like the one of the, because I think the I think it was Jessica or Olivia. I don't remember who it was, but one of them ends up getting possessed, and they end up stabbing David in the back, and then David tells Mia to run away and leave, and so she ends up just like leaving him there and going, and he ends up just, like, I don't know why he did this, but he basically just like lit the whole cabin on fire while he was still in there with the whole gasoline, and like he was just like lighting the whole place on fire. And then he grabbed like the shotgun and he shot the gasoline tank while he was still in the cabin. He could have done that while he was outside. Like he could have like, tried to get closer to the window of the room and like, shoot it from there. But no, he decided to shoot it while he was still in there. So he got himself killed. And like he basically he didn't even kill the the he didn't even kill the spirit. So I was just like, yo, why did he do this? But anyways, then Mia ends up going outside the cabin. She's like hiding, and it starts randomly raining blood out of the sky, and I was just why the hell is it raining blood? But it looked super cool though, just like the way it just like, the shots, the angles, like the way it looked while it was raining blood in the film when it first happened. Like it was just like, I don't know, it just looked cool. And Mia is just like covered in blood. And I've seen many horror movies where a final girl is covered in blood, but Mia probably takes the cake here when it comes to being covered in blood as a final girl. Because I mean, like, not only was it raining blood, but then like towards the end, like, which I'll get into right now. But anyways, so this demon girl ends up, taunting Mia, saying, "I will feast on your soul." And bro, she ends up throwing the car on top of Mia's arm. And I'm just like, I was like, bro, ain't, like, why? Like, because it's just like the sound it made, like, her arm definitely broke. And like, she had to like slowly rip her hand apart from the car. Like I was just like, oh my gosh, I did not even want to look, but it was just so brutal. I just like, I'm sure when you guys saw that, like, you guys probably felt the same way. Like like I was just like so surprised that that even happened, bro. Like she literally, Mia had to take her whole hand off from the vehicle that smushed her hand, which I didn't even know these freaking, like they even these, you know, once they get possessed, like they get some super strength because they usually seem pretty weak. So I was just like, yo, like what's, like she's this strong? She was strong enough to throw a whole car on top of Mia's arm, like how? But I mean, I guess. And then Mia ends up, taking her arm out of the the vehicle and grabbing the chainsaw, and then she ends up just like pushing the chainsaw into her head, cutting her brain in half, her skull. I was just like, yeah, I really like that. Just, and all the blood squirting from her body, going all over the place. Like this movie was definitely brutal and gory. Just everything about it, like it's one of the most brutal, gory films that I've seen. And with when it comes to slashers, horror, just and when it comes to movies in general, like this is one of the most brutal, bro. Like there's no doubt about it. Like, and which I'm gonna get into another brutal slasher horror film eventually, like later this week. I'm gonna do a review for these these two movies for a slasher franchise that is also very brutal. Has only two movies in there so far, but yeah, it only has two movies. But that slasher franchise is very brutal and gory. Very, just like the kills are very over the top, just like this film. And I'm gonna end up reviewing it sometime next week. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, this movie though, definitely very brutal, very gory. But David, I mean, poor him because he ended up dying. But yeah, and then what's it called? At the end of the film, though, I was just like, I was very confused because like after that, like it just randomly like became daytime. It stopped raining, and Mia just like walking on her own, and then she's like walking on in the middle of the road, and this Bruce Campbell looking guy walks out of his truck, and he asked Mia like, oh, what's wrong? And then she like makes this like creepy face looking like she's still possessed. So I don't know if she actually like got possessed again or if she was still possessed, which maybe she was. I think she actually did become, like she wasn't possessed anymore, but then she got possessed again at the end of the film. But like I was just like, yo, this is a crazy, bizarre ending. But I mean, this whole movie was just like so much going on. But it's just such a fun time. Like this movie is so dark and brutal and gory, and it took a very big turn into the franchise. For a remake, it doesn't like there is definitely homages to the original film, but it also just felt like its own thing, and that's why I really enjoyed this remake. It's one of the best remakes I've seen. Um, which I haven't seen that many, to be honest. I'll be honest, but the ones I have seen aren't that good. But this is definitely one of them, though. Um, so like, yeah, I just this very good film. Love this Evil Dead movie. It definitely is one of my favorites. Belongs in the franchise, and like I overall enjoyed it. But let me know what you guys think. Did you guys enjoy? I'm sure those of you who are watching this. I mean, you can guys let me know in the comments below. But at this point, I've seen all the movies except Evil Dead Rise in this franchise. Once I see Evil Dead Rise, I'm gonna review that movie as well, and then I'm gonna do a ranking of the franchise. But that's gonna probably be till like I don't know, sometime next week, like maybe next weekend or something, because I still have some other horror movie reviews that I have coming up earlier this week. So yeah, stay tuned for that. I'm gonna be just trying to upload content So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know what you guys think. What's it called? But yeah, when it comes to this franchise, bro, it's just overall a very good, enjoyable franchise. And I personally think that this is one of the, like, I've always heard that it's a very consistent franchise. And, now that I'm watching it myself, I definitely agree. Because I don't think there is a bad movie in this franchise. But yeah, this is basically my review for the Evil Dead 2013 remake. Let me know what you guys think about this review, what you guys think about the movie. If you guys like it or not, comment down below. And yeah, I'm just gonna try to, do more reviews coming up this week. So stay tuned for that. Like and subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.